Hello everyone, welcome back to Blitzer64, and a couple weeks ago I went to Carowinds and rode a lot of really great coasters, and a lot of really middling coasters too. So today I'm going to rank them up on a tier list to kind of see how they compare from worst to best. And if you've ever been to Carowinds, make sure you let me know how you'd rank these coasters, because I want to see our differences. So starting with the worst coaster in the business, that's going to have to go to Nighthawk in the delete this coaster tier. It's already gone. That's why I didn't delete this coaster too, because they already deleted it. Starting off the actual list is going to be Vortex. Vortex was really bad. It was really bad. It was so rough, and I hit my head over and over and over again. It was so bad. It doesn't even do anything special at all. It's just like a loop, a corkscrew, and a couple helixes. And the fact that it takes so long to load each one of those trains, you're waiting like 10 minutes per cycle, and it doesn't do anything. It was so bad. I wouldn't ride that again. Next, into the straight buns tier is going to be Ricochet. I didn't actually get to ride Ricochet. It wasn't open, but I don't typically like wild mouse coasters anyway. It doesn't look too offensive. It doesn't look too bad, but from video footage, it looks kind of rough, and wild mouse don't go together at all. That makes a really bad ride. Apples at King's Dominion was on a 40-minute wait, so Ricochet probably would have been on 40 minutes when I went anyway, so it still wouldn't have been worth it in any sense of the way. Next up in our straight buns tier is going to go to Carolina Cyclone. This ride is the definition of straight buns, and it comes down to a couple things. Old aero coasters are so shaky and violent, and each one of the loops and corkscrews, they all try to kill you. It's so aggressively like janky that it makes for a really bad experience. And it's kind of sad because they just repainted the whole coaster. It looks all nice and colorful. So my expectations were a little high. My own fault. Bad coaster. Straight buns tier. Also in the straight buns tier is going to be Hurler. This ride is like just barely better than Carolina Cyclone. It's so rough, it's so shaky, but the drops have, you know, decent forces. I think you get a little bit of airtime into some of these hills, but overall it's a pretty bad ride, and I wanted to get off of it within the first 20 seconds. Not fun. Yeah, already a rough start. But going into our wouldn't wait for it tier, I'm gonna start that off with Carolina Gold Rusher. This ride, I wanted to put in the straight buns here because it wasn't anything special. It wasn't, you know, not rough. But the fact that it's got two lift hills and some kind of cool moments where you go under the ground, some cool little helixes at the end of that light little airtime hill, I think it goes in the wouldn't wait for it tier. If it was a walk-on, I would consider it, but it was like 30 minutes. If I knew it was going to be 30 minutes, I would have just taken a ride on something better on this list. But a fairly long ride, fairly decent, all things considered. Making our next C tier ride is going to be the Flying Cobras. Now, honestly, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be pretty rough, and it was pretty rough. It'd be a lot better if it was just like a little smoother, but the drops off the top surprised me more than I thought. And that is kind of a cool experience compared to like a traditional lift hill where you know where you're going to drop. But the main reason I'm putting it this low is because that slushy absolutely neutered me. I felt like shit the entire ride. It probably would be B tier if it was smoother, maybe even A tier if it was smoother and I didn't have a slushy. But so far, I'm going to put it in the wouldn't wait for it. 10 minutes tops. Now, heading up into a B tier, I have one coaster on here, and it might be pretty controversial. I have Thunder Striker. It was originally called Intimidator. Don't worry about it. It's Thunder Striker. Super fun drop, super fast, and really smooth. However, why are there so many trim brakes? The entire ride is trimmed to death. On hills that you think you're going to fly out of your seat, it's so bad. I think it's better than the rest of these, because just the drop and the intensity of some of those valleys. I think it's still a great ride, and it probably is better later in the day once it's warmed up, but it's some parts are a little more whimsical than wild, and that's maybe not something you want on a 200-foot tall coaster.
It's so whimsical. It's so whimsical and silly.
But after that, we're going up to A tier. So the first ride I have in A tier is going to be Afterburn. I loved Afterburn. Afterburn was so much fun. Definitely my favorite inverted coaster I've done so far. It's smooth, not headbang city at all, and it's fast. It dives into those ravines, which I thought was super like crazy. I thought that was so cool. It feels like you can just touch the walls and you're gonna break your arm off. But the underground Batwing completely blew my mind. It was so fun, and I would have loved to do Afterburn more, but I was a little short on time. But definitely a great ride, especially that little break in the middle, that little floater hill into that corkscrew, into that last little helix. Overall, great experience. Definitely putting it in A tier. Some people may disagree, but I think it's an A tier ride. Now, just beating up Afterburn is going to be Copperhead Strike. Copperhead Strike was a pretty fun ride. That little pre-show was... It was definitely an experience for a Six Flags ride, not like a Disney or Universal ride. And that launch, pretty punchy. And the ride is just full of really great little moments. Hang time, air time, twists and turns, and you're getting thrown around in this seat, which is ultimately a really comfortable seat. And it's a really great experience. Not even to mention that little spot at the beginning where it just kind of, wow, that was cool. I can't understate the fact that the capacity of that ride was so bad. I would have loved to go on it more, wait for a front row, wait for a back row, whatever, but it was so slow. 16 passenger trains is so bad. Ugh. But you already know. Number 1, the best ride, life-changing experience, S tier. Snoopy's Racing Railway, the brand new launch. Obviously, it's fucking Fury 325. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that this is the best ride in the park. Maybe you like Copperhead Strike because it's got a launch. Maybe you like Afterburn because you like inverted coasters. But denying that Fury 325 is the best coaster in the park would just be you'd be lying to yourself and everybody around you. The fact that there can be a coaster so tall and so fast and do so much with its layout, it completely broke me. This set a brand new standard for all coasters. The fact that in Thunder Striker was so tall, but kind of wasted its element, Fury didn't waste its track at all. It was such an experience front to back, and I would say it's my favorite coaster. Maverick was pretty cool, though. I don't know. Is Maverick better than Fury? Is still the best. Fury's the best. I don't think anyone could disagree that this is going to be the best coaster in the park. Absolutely makes Carowinds worth the travel day for. I spent 11 hours driving for Fury, and I would say it was worth it. And with that, that's the list. Vortex, Hurler, yeah. Let me know if you make any changes to this list. I think this is like objectively the best because I'm just smart like that. No, I don't know. If you disagree, let me know. Comment down below. I'd really appreciate your input. Let me know how wrong I am. But with that, my next video is going to be on Kings Island. My birthday's coming up. Going to Kings Island tomorrow as I'm recording this, but probably next week by the time you see this video. Anyway, hope to see you guys in the very next video. Peace out, gang.